Thank you, everyone. So I'm just here to share a bit about mentoring relationships. All right, mentoring relationships. How do you maximize mentoring relationships? So some of you meet people on this platform that you love them, right? You like how they inspire you, their stories motivated you or motivate you, and then you now want to maintain a warm relationship with them. All right, I'm going to be sharing 3 major things with you tonight before we bring our guest in another 7 minutes, okay? Now, as you see this person who is supposedly living your life, who you really, really love, you love what they're doing, how they speak, how they show up, the first thing that you must know and take notes to do is that even though you love them, even though you see how important they are to your life, number 1 is they do not owe you. I said this yesterday and I'll say it again today. Don't go into their inbox asking for mentoring and feeling entitled. So if they don't reply your messages, don't feel like, but she's on Instagram, she's posting on the group or, on her page, she's this, and yet she's ignoring my message. And then you take things personal and say, oh, it's possible that person has not seen the message. Or when they saw the message, they were not in the right frame of mind to even respond to you. Again, that could just be you making them remember their past ugly experience. So some of us have had ugly experiences with mentors, with mentees who are just so uncouth, so on what's the word now? So disrespectful. They abuse privilege. They share our chats to the public just to claim that, yes, they know us. They even call us by name as though we are mates. Oh no, I have Temi's phone number as though. So if I'm Temi, does that give you the right to call me by my first name? No. And I'll go that in my next topic. So first things first is you don't go feeling entitled to the person's time. They don't owe you their time. That's number 1. Number 2, you don't go asking for something for nothing. Did you hear me? You don't go asking for nothing, asking for something for nothing. Please put that somewhere, in the chat box. You don't go asking for something for nothing. People don't owe you anything. So when you go to make an ask, be sure you are also bringing a value proposition. Do you know why? Because mentors' inboxes, they are filled with give me, suck me, give me. People want to suck their brain out. So if you're also part of them, do you see now, they will just ignore you. They'll just ignore you because you're like the 77,000 people who wants to suck their brain. But guess what? Mentors are also humans, not superhumans. Normal human beings like you, they get tired. They are hungry. They have family problems. They get broke sometimes. So they get angry. They get disappointed. They get frustrated. They get rejected sometimes. So mentors are not superhuman. They also have their failures. They have their own strength and their own weaknesses. They are human beings like you. They have their own demons that they're also trying to fight, also battle with. Could be marital problems. Their kids may be sick. Their health may be failing them. They may have diabetes, cancer, ulcer, anything, kidney issues. They could be having these issues themselves. So when you also go again with your own Bambiala buckets, and say, give me, they just say, no. Even me, I'm on empty. I also need to be refilled. I can't give you jack. I give you what? Nada. They can't give you anything. But rather, when you go with a gift in hand. I don't mean physical gifts now. I mean something to bless your mentor with. And then you go look at the skills you have. And they don't say, please, anything you need to do, I'll do it. Anything is nothing. Anything is nothing. So what should you do? You should go with your skill and say, oh, ma, I can do graphic design. Ma, I can manage your glasses for you. Ma, I stay in Abuja. When you have live events, I'll be honored to assist you, to help you sell your books. Or ma, I'm in Port Harcourt. Can you send your books down to me? I can help you deliver to people in Port Harcourt. Oh, ma, I'm great with social media. I could help you undo your... But do you know what? Successful people don't like to owe others. So the moment you are offering me stuff, I'm telling myself, okay, what does she want? And truly, I would ask you, what do you want in exchange? That makes sense. Then you can say, okay, ma, I want access to you. Ma, I desire to have mentorship. I would love to, do this, do that. I mean, it now makes sense for you to do what? It makes sense for you to, what's what I'm looking for now? For them to respond, for them to want to accept your offer, because now they are convinced that they can give you what they want. One of my mentors, I asked her, that what can I help you do? I want to help you with social media. She said, what do you want? She asked me, what do you want? I said, ma, I want access to so and so person, so and so person. And she said, okay, it's not impossible. She's my cousin. I can put a word for you. I'm like, whoa, she's your cousin. Oh my God. And that was how I began. I went bearing gifts and saying, no, I want to give this to her. I want to gift this to her. That's exactly what we're talking about here. So number one is what? Don't go feeling entitled. Number two, go bearing gifts. There's a lady that once asked me, I spoke at a corporate event one day. And then as I was going out, she said, oh, hello, ma, please, ma, I want you to mentor me. So this session was so beautiful. It was that, it was this. I said, okay, no problem. What do you want? She said she wanted mentoring. I said, for how long? She said, oh, for as long as you can afford it, please. I said, okay, tell me how it will run. She said, I can come to your house. We can have Zoom sessions, maybe like every week. You can just talk to me, tell me how things are going. I can share my plans with you. You can also give me ideas. I was thinking, say, okay, okay. I said, okay, so in exchange for all of this, what do I get in return? And she looked shocked. She looked shocked. And the truth is that people will not ask you these questions. But me, I'm very sincere, I'm a direct person. I will tell you the conversations that happen in our heads. So I had to ask her, say, what do I get in return? And she said, you get to invest in the next generation. Say, I have kids that I can invest in. I have kids. I said, oh, did anybody tell you that my grandfather is owing your grandfather? Therefore, I should pay their debts. She was not laughing. I said, it's true, because this your give me every week, go through your goals, go through your this. If I spend all my days and all my time doing this, do you think I will have the time to live the life that you so admire? Think about it. If I spend maybe 3-4 hours per day running mentoring coaching calls, do you think I will have the time, the energy, the capacity to actually live the life that you admire? To be this, because I need time to read. I need time to take my courses. I need time to market my business, to have money. I need time to coach my clients who have paid me to work with them. I need time for strategy to run on all my dimensions. I have my coach of coaching business. I have my millionaire housewife brand. I have now the TMH hub and the TM hub mentoring program to run as well. My hands are full. In between, my kids come back from school, I want to make lunch for them. In between, you're saying, oh, mommy, my leg is bleeding, see blood, I clean for them. In between, it's 7:30, I want to make dinner, I want to serve them dinner, I want to put them to bed. I mean, so many things are happening in between. So when do I have time to actually mentor you? So if I'm going to be giving that time and I'm going to be putting all that energy together, I better be getting something back in return. I better be. Did you get that? I hope you got that. And the final thing I'm going to share with you today, I'm going to be sharing every day. The final thing I'm going to share with you is this. Number 3, you must learn the art. So we're expecting our first speaker to come on. So while we're waiting for him to come in, I'll just wrap up by saying that the third thing you need to have in place is this. Be very discreet in your relationship with your mentor. One of the salient things that successful people thrive or seek to have. So even with the noise and the popularity and all of that they get, hold on, sorry. They seek that peace of privacy. They seek the peace of privacy. So don't share conversations that you had with your mentor. Don't share their phone number out to somebody else. Don't share either with screenshots. Maybe they were praising you and saying, oh, Dara, you are amazing, you are brilliant, you are phenomenal. Don't just go, don't word of excitement. Just say, yes, let me go. Yes, the lecture team said, don't do it. Don't do it. It is lack of respect, lack of somebody's privacy for you to be sharing your conversations, your private chats with them. Now, speaking of lack of respect, please let nobody on this coaching call be beaten by that bug, that social media bug, foolishness that makes you call your elders by their first names. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't call your elders by their first names unless they tell you it's okay for you to call them by their first name. Even if they're as white as the queen herself. You can't go to queen and be telling her, oh, Elizabeth. You cannot see any of the duchesses or the dukes and call them by their first names. You won't try it. If you not see me physically at an event and say, oh, hello, Temi, how dare you come to my inbox and be telling me, hello, Temi? Are you mad? No, I have to ask, like, are you suffering from a spectrum of madness? I mean, not the stark one, because, hey, you still look sane, right? Maybe just a tiny spectrum of it. Doesn't make sense. So you're in somebody's inbox to ask for mentoring, you are calling them by their first name. Who gave you the right? You don't know them. Because the day one young guy enthusiastically was in my inbox, say, hi, Temi, thank you for your session this evening. It was so amazing. I love it. I love you. Oh, Temi, I promise that going forward, I'm going to invest in all that you have to offer. Oh, by God's grace, I'm going to invest in your books, in your coaching, in your this, anything you're saying, I'm going to buy it. Oh, God bless you. I was like, oh, thank you so much. Thank you for the feedback. I'm grateful for this. Thank you. Say, yes, you're welcome, Temi. I said, wait, sorry, do you think Temi is my nickname? Maybe you think he's my nickname, my appellation, like the electric Temi. He said, no, I know it's your first name. I said, okay. I said, sorry, please, can you tell me what you currently do? I mean, so, right now I'm a student. I'm finishing my degree next year. I said, do you mean like your second degree or like a first, say you have his first degree? And I said, oh, okay. Do you mind sharing with me how old you are? He said, he's 20. I said, you are 20? Really? And yet you feel it's okay to call a woman who is almost 2 decades your senior by her first name just because of social media? Who told you you could do that to me? I said, oh, I'm sorry, ma. I said, don't let social media mess you up. Don't do it. Don't say because you now have access to DM us and then you begin to call people by their first names. It is a spectrum of madness. You don't do it. You miss, and of all people, those you are asking for mentoring, like who does that? With these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to share with you some hacks and tips to get your mentors wanting to work with you, wanting to mentor you. Tomorrow, I'm going to share with you a hack that got me my chief mentor right now. I'm going to tell you the story and how he ended up asking me for mentoring relationship. And he was like, madam, if you don't mind, I would love to mentor you. I said, bam, I came here for that. I'm going to share that with you tomorrow. That's a big deal for you. For the moment, I'm going to get out of the way and let Jennifer do her thing because our guest is in the building. Yo. So Jennifer, take it away.
Thank you so much for that, Coach Temi. Thank you for sharing all of the nuggets, and thank you for constantly sharing yourself. Coach Temi is one of those people who does not hide her processes, sharing with everybody so that we'll all learn and do better. The word is do better. Oh, take dressing. Take dressing. I'm excited. Our first speaker is in the building. I told you guys that today is going to be setting pillars on the foundation that was set yesterday, right? So, without any further ado, let me show. And he's a very handsome sir. I'll be sharing. I'm bringing up our speaker today. He is none other than the amazing Mr. Dami Oluwatoyinbo. I know as I just put his picture now, some people are seeing if you know him on social media, you're seeing a white card and red ink. But there's a lot that I'll share about our amazing speaker this evening. He's a blend of gift and grace, a dynamic speaker, insightful writer, and a personal transformation expert. He's genius, because only a genius will come up with that idea. No need. I was just thinking of it this evening. I'm like, no need for Canva design. No. He has bypassed that completely. And most of all, he's a corporate trainer on a mission to empower people to rise and reign as kings in their respective fields. Say, I am a king, and a kingmaker has come to talk to me. I am a king, yes. He occupies a unique space as he masterly speaks to the sacred and secular systems with uncommon wisdom. As a professional speaker and trainer, he designs and delivers top quality and high impact training that elevates the productivity of his audience. If you were asking about productivity questions yesterday, you have an answer that will come to you today. His growing list of coaching and corporate clients includes CEOs and social influencers. His world-class training on creativity, communication, persuasion, and transformational leadership have made him the consultant of choice for progressive organizations who desire sustainable growth without compromising their authentic brand essence. He has delivered top-class training for progressive organizations including FCMB, GTB, Access Bank, Landway, Connect Africa, amongst others. And he has created over 20 online programs and published 7 books, including Just Do It, Seize the Moment, Good to Go New Year Guide, and Life Lessons from Football. Where are my football lovers at? More recently, his wise and witty social media series, White Paper Wisdom, has gone viral, fascinating the minds of many and transforming lives with timeless wisdom, with a contemporary edge, of course. He has also created a thriving merch brand from the series, White Paper Merch. You've not bought anything. I'm looking at you with one eye. Just one. Don't let me open the other one. I can go on and on about this bundle of talent and gifts to this generation. But without further ado, allow me to spotlight, since we're not in a physical space, our speaker for this evening, Mr. Dami Oluwatoyinbo.
It is great. It is great to be here. Thank you for the fantastic introduction, Jennifer. I will come to you. Let me celebrate.
Pidams, welcome.
Amazing fireball, dynamic, volcanic, eruptive, disruptive, trainer, coach, speaker, communicator, author, making millions.
Oh yeah. Please fund me.
You can take one. Thank you for all the amazing things.
Thank you so much.
And
thank you.
I'm particularly thrilled that you decided to take 2 major aspects of our social construct that I believe have suffered much damage. So teenagers, there's so much going on out there about entrepreneurs and startups and coaching people who are thriving and all of that. But very few people are talking to teenagers, so for me, that is highly commendable, so thank you for that. Number 2, mentoring. We're in a day and age where, money is prime, right? As in, we need to make this money.
Yep.
That's the truth. But mentoring and mentorship goes beyond money. Generally, when you have a mentoring relationship, you're going to get so much more than what you can actually even afford to pay for.
That's right.
When money is involved, the quality of the wisdom, the quality of the experience, of the access, the quality of the leverage and the mileage that you get to go far beyond whatever your financial commitment is. So thank you so much. I know that you're very busy, you're very dynamic. So there are many other expressions you could have and you would do them so well. So thank you for paying attention to those 2 major things. Thank
you for being here this evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you. If I can get a link where I can see real-time participation, either maybe, I don't know where we're streaming.
Okay, yes. We're streaming to YouTube and our Facebook groups. Let me share the link to the YouTube to you now. On your phone. Okay, for you to get feedback, right?
Exactly.
Okay, yes.
Because I love to be interactive.
Okay,
all right,
yes.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
To you.
And I must celebrate your amazing team as well. Jennifer and her introduction, very welcoming, very warm, very soothing. I don't know, maybe it's just a professional presentation, but if that's how Jennifer is real time, if somebody is very angry, the person wants to fight, just send Jennifer to the person and the person will calm down. So thank you so much. Well, if you're excited to be here, I like to make noise. I like to shout. I like to get excited. So if you're excited, let me call the names. I see Jami Musa, you're welcome. Jesu do mommy, what a unique name. You're welcome. Wendy Chris, I see you're welcome. Brito Lua Damilola. I think I know Damilola Brito. I think that we're connected. Yes. It's good to see your namesake. Raphael Oyenichi, you're welcome. Gracie Black, you're welcome. Alexander Nwobodo, you're welcome. Juana Victor. By the way, Victor is one of my names that nobody ever calls me, right?
Okay. We'll start calling you now. We'll start calling you that now.
now I'm fresh, right? Good to see you, Victor. Oputa Timothy Akachuku, you're welcome. Isaiah Paul, can you imagine combining two Bible names at the same time? Prophet and apostle. Isaiah Paul, come on. Only you can come. You're welcome. Alaya Grace, you're welcome. Frederick Anula, you're welcome. Esther the Queen, Ikeku, you're welcome. Lawson Shegun, Daniel Jakes, Enigmar, everybody, you're welcome. If I don't mention your name, don't worry. Just mimic my voice and call your name wherever you are. We're going to be on a roller coaster today. So if you're ready, just put a flaming fireball. Put a flaming emoji or that pow emoji in the comments right now. Let me know you're ready. You can also give me some hearts as we go along. Just say sense. If there is anything that is intriguing or captivating, just say sense or sense or any of these emojis, right? All right. Do we have a witness? Come on, somebody. I see those fiery emojis right now. Keep them coming. I love the energy. Keep them coming. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing today. If you want a topic, because I'm going to touch on a number of things, but if you want a topic, just put changing your life with the power of 3. Changing your life with the power of 3. If you want a topic, you can call that changing your life with the power of 3. So I'll tell a bit of my story. But before I do that, I will share the screen very briefly and show you a page, right? One page out of a PDF I created some years ago. And I'll tell you why it's such an important story for me to share. So give me a moment. Do I have sharing functionality? Yeah, I can see I do that. I have that. All right, so quickly look at the screen and confirm for me that you can see what I got on the screen. Yep. So I put this here. Now, I wrote this in 2019. So what happened in 2019? Let me just put it this way. There was a time in my life, and I put it on the screen as well, where I wanted to travel. I really wanted to travel, but I did not have the money to travel. So guess what I did? I traveled in my mind. Write that down. If you want to travel and you don't have the money to travel, travel in your mind. Don't have the visa to travel, travel in your mind. Don't have the passport to travel, travel first of all in your mind. Everything in the world is created twice. Once in the invisible realm and secondly in the visible realm. Everything that you see today, whether it's a tree that is growing, a baby that is booming, a business that is profitable, everything first happens in the invisible dimension. That's why, as big and as handsome and as charismatic and charming and gifted as you are, there was a time nobody could see you. Your mother was pregnant with you. After your dad did to your mom, you know what they do? Hallelujah. Right? Guess what? You were there, but we couldn't see you. So the fact that we can't see certain things about you yet does not mean those things don't exist. Somebody, if you know this is true, just put sense. Your millions are already there, even though we might not be able to see it. Your clients are already there. Your coaching corporation is already there. Your landed property already there, even though we can't see it yet. So there was a time I wanted to do so many things, but I didn't have the money. So I traveled in my mind. But guess what happened? There then came a time where I had the money to travel, but I didn't have the time. So I had the money, but I had so many clients, so many invitations, so many coaching opportunities, so many products to design, so many meetings to have, so many investments to monitor and all of that. But eventually, sometime in 2000, technically I've traveled every year since about 2012, really. I've traveled every year since about 2012. But 2019 was very significant. 2018, I worked very, very hard. And listen, if I say I've worked very, very hard, please trust me, I had worked very, very hard. I was asking one of my staff yesterday, I said, do you think that I'm extra? The person, maybe you're not very extra, but you're a workaholic. So I knew I had worked very hard. And I said, you know what, it doesn't matter what's happening. I'm going to block out, I think, about 10 days and just go to the UAE and enjoy myself. So whilst I was there, I was seeing a lot of activity on social media. Somebody remember, January 2019. And they were doing this 10-year challenge thing where they put their picture, maybe in 2009, an old picture, and then they had a new picture of 2019, or for some people, 2018. And that was the 10-year challenge. But I started thinking, I said, because one of the things that happens with me is when I see an idea, I want to see the next level of its iteration and evolution. I want to say, okay, how do you improve on this idea, right? How do you embellish it and advance the thoughts behind it without despising the thought behind it? So I said, instead of just posting pictures, let me think about the snapshot of my life, what it was like in 2008 and what it was like in 2018. So I began to write this. So if you see the right side of the column, you're going to see the right side of the column, and you're going to see the caption that I wrote there, right? So I said 2008, please observe this. Observe this, guys. 2008, I spent an extra year in school. I'm not talking about ASU extra year. I'm not talking about, there are different kinds of extra years. I actually failed. In fact, I knew I was going to have an extra year from year 2 because I failed a prerequisite course, which means that I had to wait another year to write it. Now, in some schools, you fail a course and they're going to allow you maybe write it at the end of the semester or the holiday or whatever. But I failed, right? Thank you for all the sense you're seeing there, you're posting there. But guess what? 2018, I was getting paid to train classmates who had graduated before me. In 2008, I wrote my first book. By 2018, I was working on my 5th book. I think that number is about 9 or 10 right now. 2008, I was hoping to get coaching and corporate clients because I knew from about year 4 that I wanted to get into the speaking industry and all of that. So, but it's one thing for you to know what you want to do. It's another thing for you to know the way it's done within the time frame in which you're functioning, because it also evolves. Like if you're doing coaching in 2022, the way we did it in 2015, you're likely going to be very hungry. So the whole thing keeps changing, and that's why you must keep learning and evolving and growing. But guess what? 2018, I literally had to turn down coaching and corporate clients. In 2008, I had time to travel, but I had no money. 2018, I had money to travel, but I had no time. 2008, I had traveled to only 2 countries. By 2018, I had traveled to and touched down on 12 countries, right? 2008, I was praying for speaking engagements. 2018, my speaking itinerary was over 100. 2018. 2008, guess what? I had to squat with a friend because I couldn't afford to pay rent, to rent a space, a decent space that is, as at that time. I was staying in a place and then they had to renovate the place. And so I had to leave the place early and all whatnot. But 2018, I owned property and I was already earning rent. So I had a rental property by 2018. Please, somebody, if you are feeling this, say sense. If you know this is going to happen for you. So for me, it took about 10 years, but for somebody, it's going to take 5 years. For somebody, it's going to take 2 years. For somebody, it's going to take 6 months. If you follow the 3 things, changing your life with the power of 3, if you will follow this thing, I'm telling you by experience, I'm not telling you just by prophecy. I mean, that's great. Don't despise prophecies. They're powerful. But I'm telling you also by experience, by know-how, by the technology of the mind and technology of transformation, that the change you seek is not in time. The change you seek is in thoughts, right? Is in thoughts. Why? Because thoughts have an eternal quotient to them. And if I can get you to think differently, it's not time that is going to transform your life. You will transform your life over time. I hope you see that now. Because some people think, oh, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time if you embrace and engage the belief systems and the thinking patterns that are guaranteed. I'm not saying that may. I'm saying they are guaranteed. Why? Because they are proven. There's a certain way successful people think. There's a certain way progressive people think. There's a certain way intelligent people think. And I'm going to be sharing some things with you today. So 2008, 0 TV appearances. 2018, dozens of unsolicited TV and media appearances. In fact, I became a part of the regular features on the most watched early morning show on TVC, right? The most watched early morning show, 2018. And you can imagine the level of visibility and open doors. 2008, I had to raise money to publish my first book. But ladies and gentlemen, by the grace and mercy of God, that's the last time I've had to raise money for any personal projects. In fact, for any projects, right? and don't let me even go into that story because it's a long story. Now, 2018, I raised money for people and causes for my books. 2008, no awards. 2018, several awards and nominations. 2008, I had no car. 2018, I acquired my 5th car in 8 years. 2008, survived burnout with acute stress and near mental breakdown. That's a story for another day. 2018, I helped many people defeat depression and live life on purpose. 2008, single and heartbroken from relationship breakup. 2018, happily married. Some of you know her. To the most beautiful woman in the world. Come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, people. And 2 amazing princes. 2008, pastor of students. 2018, pastor of kings. And I put this down. I said, please be encouraged. Now, why am I sharing this? Because I'm sharing this because, you know, it's easy for you to look at Tewe, or look at myself, or look at Jimi, or look at Stephen Akintayo, or look at John, and go like, well, you guys haven't made, you know, all those pristine pictures with paint, with post rather, you know, photo shoots, hair is well done, you know, no zits, no pimples, and you feel, God, when? God, how can this happen for me? The reason I gave you this snapshot of the background of my life is that for you to see that before there was white paper wisdom, there was black paper struggle. Come on, somebody. That's also white paper, right? Before there was all this confidence and drive and aggression in the public space, I had to develop that confidence in the private place, right? Before you got to the point of having multi-million naira corporate clients or coaching clients, there were the days of Gary drinking. Do you understand Gary drinking? Grounds not crunching, kuli cracking. Is anybody hearing what I'm saying? Right? There are those days. But let me tell you this, the current state of your life is not the final stage of your life. The current state of your life is not the final stage of your life. It does not matter if you're in debt, if you're in distress, if you're in disarray, if you're in dismay, if you're in dejection, should I keep up with the D? If you're in depression, if you're in detention, come on, somebody, it does not matter. What I am telling you is that the current state of your life is not the final stage of your life. Now, I know that many people say all these motivational speakers, but let me tell you, we are not just motivational speakers, we are motivational livers. We have lived through this thing. When you listen to a speaker who has not lived through, you can tell the difference within 5 minutes, right? So the reason we have liver is that we have livers. Come on, somebody. We have lived through it, through the pain, through the pressure, through the sometimes confusion, through the overwhelm, through the, in fact, right now, I'm in the season of condensed projects. I'm working on multiple projects, and many of them are multi-millionaire projects. So I still feel pressure, right? But, you know, so I can come online and I'm smiling and I'm happy and I'm doing from a genuine place, but it does not mean the pressure is not there. The pressure is there. The demands are there. The deadlines are real, right? I can't remember the last time. I'm not saying borrow this, or I'm not saying do this, but I can't remember the last time I slept before 2 or 3 a.m. I cannot remember. And I can't remember the last time I slept for more than 4 hours. Okay? So the pressure is still there, but there is a way to grow through it. There is a way to build through it. There is a way to stretch through it. And I want to share with you many things we could share with you, but I want to share with you 3 major things. Is it okay if I share another screen? How did my journey start? My journey started from my family. And if you have the blessing and the benefit of a great family, please never ridicule it. Never treat it with disdain or disregard. Never despise it. My parents did an excellent job in laying a solid foundation. Now, how about if you didn't really maybe have a great family, maybe you don't know who your dad is or who your mom is, or, you know, maybe some background challenges that you've had. It does not mean it's the end of your life. It means that you might have to work a little harder than many of us in ensuring that you don't replicate the dysfunction of your past or obscure the glories of your future because of the griefs of the past. I hope you see that now. You just want to work a bit harder. So my parents, they gave me great education. They were not the richest people. For much of their lives, they were actually civil servants, and they went up to the top of their career. They started businesses on the side from time to time. My dad was a vet, so he also had a personal vet practice apart from lecturing for the government, right? My mom was a soil scientist and then did a PhD and all of that. So she got into a soap making after a while, and that brought the family some money. So they did their best with what they had. My dad passed, is late, he went to be with Jesus last year. My mom is still very alive and very strong. But the point is, great background. They gave me the best education, the code, spirituality, and faith, and all of that. But there was something that my dad did that was very significant, a couple of practices that he had, and he possibly never knew how powerful those practices were. I'll give you a couple of them. So this is also a story for another day. There's so many stories I could tell, but I know that my time is racing, so I need to cut out many stories. When I was a lot younger, I used to be a professional irrigator. By a professional irrigator, I mean a professional irrigator in the midnight hour. I was very gifted in the art of creating liquid where there was none. Come on, somebody. I was a miracle worker. Miracle worker, you leave the mattress dry, or give me the mattress dry, I'm going to leave it wet. Come on, if you get what I'm saying, just put some flaming fire emojis right now.
No, you did not just say that.
I just did.
Perhaps yesterday I was sharing with them how I bedwetted till I was 18 years old. The university. My roommates knew I was bedwetting and they would bully me for it.
Wow.
So how did you do your own too?
You beat me. Oh, I didn't.
I was a senior. I mean,
okay. You are my senior, serious one. I did mine till I was about 11 going on 12. So I still had that in primary, in secondary school, the early years. And it was so embarrassing having to spread the mattress outside
in the morning. Yes.
But it's a totally different story. Maybe another time I'll share the story. But because I used to wet the bed, my dad would wake me up right middle of the night, would wake me up. And I noticed something. Whenever he woke me up, he would have the Bible open, the physical Bible on this table, and then he would have the like a diary or something. So he had this habit of writing the goals for the day, his thoughts and meditation. So before journaling became a thing, my dad was journaling, right? He was a conscious person, okay? So he will write the goals for the next day, he will write his thoughts and all of that, and all whatnot. And I began to absorb some of those ideas of, planning, strategy, and being conscientious and all of that. Another thing my dad would do was that during, let me just say, so everybody like, if I was not wetting the bed like Tewe and P-Dams, maybe I need to go and learn to wet the bed. Don't worry, we have already done it for you. Don't wet the bed, though. But this is the deal. Whether you wet the bed or not, if there's anything that brought you some shame or embarrassment or whatever, it does not define your life. If we didn't tell you the story, you never would have guessed. Okay? So grow bigger than your challenges. Grow bigger than your struggles. Grow bigger than your disappointments. Grow bigger than your seeming weaknesses, right? So the other thing is, whenever there was a holiday, my dad would ask me, so kini program by? He will speak that, he'll say that in Yoruba. What that means is, so what is your agenda for this holiday? So I grew up always having the desire, right, to get stuff done. In other words, don't waste time. Seize the moment. And one of my books is called Seize the Moment. There's a particular page I'd like to share with you. If I get it in good enough time, I will share it. If I don't get it in good enough time, I might have to find a way to maybe, I don't know, I'm going to do. But in Seize the Moment, just give me a moment. I think I will find it. I pray I do find it. In Seize the Moment, I share certain stages. Yes, I found it. So there was this proprietary technology, or how would I call it now? Framework, I should call it, that I created, and it's in my book, Seize the Moment. But let me show you an old, let me show you an old picture. Everybody who got somewhere started somewhere. The first time I did an online course, that was long before online courses became a deal or a popular thing. Let me show you. I was the cameraman, I was the video editor, I was the script writer, I was the See, I was looking like I just came out of the war field. Right? But I mean, like, check out the blazer and the shirt and the pocket square, the swag was there. Just this grey mapa a face. Maybe I was fascinated at some, I don't know. So anyway, so that pyramid you see there is what I call the pyramid of life optimization. And I want to share a bit of it with you because for you to change your life, you must have the right perspective of your life. If you see your life as a burden, you will waste it. If you see your life as a burden, you will complain about it. If you see your life as an asset, you will invest it. If you see your life as an asset, you will maximize it. So this is my original framework, right? It's not from Harvard or Covey or anybody, my original framework. And there's a 6-hour training on it, right? Now, the first level for me, some people can say it starts with self-discovery before awareness. But for me, the first level of your life is really self-awareness, right? Now, that awareness may not be accurate judgment, may not be exhaustive, but you come into a place of awareness. For me, I distinguish that from discovery because I believe that your discoveries can even be limited by your awareness. So the first stage of your life is you're aware that you're alive, you're aware that you have gifts, you're aware that you have talents. You might not call them gifts or talents, but you know you can do certain things. You know that people are attracted to you under certain circumstances. People are able to connect with you in certain ways. Now, when you have awareness, you don't stop there. That's when you have to probe. That's when you have to invest. So for some of you, Teens Mentoring Hub is elevating your awareness. But after this awareness, you must have questions. You must have Coach Tewe, how did you get the speakers? Coach Tewe, that story you were saying, please, could you help me? I don't mind booking a session. I don't have a lot of money, but I could help you sell your books or fill your seats and dig in for discovery, okay? And that's the second level. Now, when you begin to discover certain things about yourself, then you move to the third level that I call self-development. Now, in the personal development space, there is so much information about self-development and personal development and success, which is number 4 for me. And you know what, Coach James, this is where most people stop. Success is all they see, just be successful. And, right now, people are broad-minded enough to accommodate different definitions of success. Before, it used to be about money and cars and accolades and recognition. But now, people are talking about self-realization, fulfillment, legacy, and all whatnot. But the reason I began to press into this was that I saw that a lot of Africans were successful, but they were momentarily successful. So somebody has a big hit, I don't want to mention names, but in the music industry, people were buzzing like 10 years ago, nowhere to be found. 5 years ago, nowhere to be found. Whereas in America, you can find some other people who have survived the times. You're hearing things like, Dr. Dre or Kirk Franklin, who are still going strong. Israel Houghton, 15 to 20 years, still growing strong. So for me, the next level is stability. And stability is when your success does not make you unstable. In other words, you come into a place not of seasonal success, but sustainable success and consolidation, which means that you are stable enough. What it means is you finally hit maybe 8 digits. You're now doing 100 million in terms of your inflow, your turnover, or maybe just your assets, right? Now, stability means that when village people come, or family people come, or church people come, whoever is coming, they cannot disrupt what you have built. Because what you have in stability is not just material acquisition, it's character consolidation. It is that your character is so solid that you don't just say yes to something because it gives you money, right? And you don't just say no to something because it gives you stress. It means that you are not calibrating your acceptance or lack thereof. As a result,
wait, calm down. Let that one digest. Give us 10 seconds. Give us 10 seconds. Let's that one sinking. Wait. Yeah, continue.
Coach Tewe. I hope somebody's getting it. I don't know if these replays are going to be sold, but if they're going to be sold, someone needs to pause, just like Kotemi did. You need to pause and then, you have to listen again, right? So you don't just say yes to things because of apparent rewards or no because of visible stress. You are now making decisions not only for acquisition, but for transformation. And that's where stability comes. This is the reason there are many rich African countries, but there are very few stable African countries, because it takes a stable people to create a stable nation. It's important for you to hear this as a teenager, because the teenage years are some of the most turbulent years. You don't understand what's going on. Your voice is changing, your body is changing, your hormones are raging, right? Your hormones, they do pass tornado, right? You are just all over the place. Your favorite song is Peru Para, everything is all over the place, right? You're wondering, do I still have finesse and all whatnot? It can be so nerve-wracking and unstable, okay? But stability is prime, because without stability, there can be no significance. Now, what's the root of significance? The root of significance is sign, significance. When you are traveling by the road and you see a sign by the roadside, that sign is not going to relocate the next day. So nobody gets to significance by being in oil and gas today, being in a fashion industry the next day, leaving and going. If they are going to be significant that way, they are stacking up success upon stability. So significance is what happens when you stack success on top of stability. What it means is that people can now look at your life as a sign and a wonder. They can now look at who you are, where you've been, your journey, how you survived the failures, how you are no longer scared of sharing the vulnerabilities of your own journey and experiences. And they go, hey, I can learn from that person. I want to be like that person in that area. By the way, you cannot be like anybody completely, but you can have borrowed intelligence, right? You can have borrowed intelligence and assimilate that, adopt that, and adapt that within the context of your own peculiarity and bring out something the world has never seen before. Then after that, you have supremacy. And supremacy is significance that has traveled abroad. Now, significance that is accepted beyond your own culture, which means that you are not just a Yoruba champion or Efik champion or a Bibio champion or Nigerian champion or Yampion or Sampion or Yompion, right? You are now, you are, Tim is laughing so hard. I remember, I think there was a video I put out. Your comment made me laugh so hard. The comment was something like, if I was there, I would have laughed till I got under the chair or something. I was laughing so hard. I thought I used to laugh so hard, but I think I've seen someone who beats me to it. Right? And after supremacy, sovereignty. What's sovereignty? Sovereignty is like you are like a god in that space. You are not competing with God, but you have full powers to redefine that place. And there are few people who have gotten to a level of sovereignty. So for example, in personal development, personal growth, we're going to be talking about people like Jim Rohn, Earl Nightingale. We're going to be talking about people like Stephen Covey. Stephen Covey has been dead for maybe like 20 years or something. His books are still used as a template. That's sovereignty. You don't have to be physically there. And after that, succession, which means you have a lineage of reproductive individuals who are shifting cultures, whether you are alive or not. And finally, siesta, because for those of us who believe in Jesus, you don't die, you only sleep, right? Siesta. Now, for you to travel through these things, three major things, so that you don't waste your life. Number one, the power of the mind. The power of the mind. One of the greatest disadvantages that Africa suffers from is that we have people who are practicing pseudo-spirituality. Now, what's pseudo-spirituality? Pseudo-spirituality ignores the power of the mind. You cannot claim to worship a God that you love whilst you ignore the power of the mind that he created. Oh, I need to say that again for somebody. You can't keep claiming right? That you worship a God, the God that you love, when you consistently ignore the mind that he created. So there are many religious people, different religions, Christianity, this one, Islam, Buddhism, African traditional religion in Africa. And what seems to happen is that we seem to downplay the power of the mind. I'm telling you something, my parents were very spiritual. My parents were intellectuals, very academic. Dr. and Dr. Mrs. You know, my parents were the Dr. and Dr. Mrs. kind. That's what they were, right? Very academic. And they tried and did their best. But let me tell you some of the things I discovered. Some of the things I discovered was that they did the best based on the level of information that they had. And so even without knowing, I was raised with a strong discipline of an academician. So that's why you read my writing or you follow my frameworks or my teaching. It's very tutorial. It's very insightful. It's very thorough. It's all research based on all of that. So I got that from my parents. I mean, from God, my natural gifting was sharpened through my parents. But Coach Temi, do you know one of the things that affected me with? Should I tell one of the things? My parents taught me how to think, but I did not learn how to monetize my thinking from them. I did not learn how to structure an organization from them. I did not learn how to build systems that reproduce in my absence. So I got to a place before I eventually started, one of my coaching platforms now is called Global Greatness. And Global Greatness houses about 70 products that I've created. I'm talking about 70 digital and physical products. Crazy. Physical products, because I just kept on creating. And I have this interesting perspective on life and things and, you know, mindset and belief systems and dream actualization and leadership and money mastery and speaking with power and communication and wellness, just a whole lot of stuff. So your mind can be partially developed based on what you have exposed it to. So my mind was developed in content creation and leadership strategy, in innovation and thinking, but in monetization, I needed a different set of teachers. I needed a different set of thinkers. I needed a different set of mentors. Are you here now? My mind. Now, if all you are doing with your mind, there are three major components of your mind. There is the memory. The memory is very important. It houses information about the past and helps you to be able to create a bank of information from which you can draw to navigate the future. So the mind, the memory. Number two, the contemplation. The contemplation deals with the now. It is the bridge between the memory, the past, and the future. And number three, imagination. Imagination deals with the future. So watch this now. With my memory, I replay. With my imagination, I pre-play. With my contemplation, I press play. Are you here? My memory replays, my imagination pre-plays, my contemplation presses play. What it means is that if you understand the power of the mind, you will not blame anybody for the outcome of your life. The people who did you bad, they have no passport into your future without your imagination. Woo. So for some of you who grew up in some settings where you were molested or abused or assaulted, it's very painful. It's devastating. I condone it. I condemn it. I don't condone it. I don't treat it lightly because my position as spiritual leader also helps me to counsel people and reach out to people and help people. So it's very bad. But I discovered something about hurt and abuse. Many times we empower those things by doing what? Replaying them. And so somebody who stole your money or defrauded you 10 years ago or 15 years ago, the person has moved on with their own lives, but you are carrying a baggage in the now that is creating damage for the future. Don't let the garbage of the past become the baggage of the now that causes the damage of the future. You know, I like to rhyme. I can't really help it. But it's not like I'm trying to rhyme, but the words just come on time. Come on. Thank God it's not sour like lime. But this truth is so sublime. Oh my God. Yeah. As Coach Jimi literally rolled off. You literally rolled off the chair. Oh my goodness. So that's key. That's key. You have to use your mind. So how do you do it? We can't get enough time to do it, but there's something I call reframing. What you do is you reframe the experience. You have to reframe the experience. Now, occurrences are beyond your control, but meaning is within your reach. What's an occurrence? Somebody splashed water on you, okay? You wore your pristine white dress, right? By the roadside. Then somebody splashed water on you. That's an occurrence. That's an event. It's not within you. It's not always within your control. However, the meaning you attribute to it is within your reach. So meaning is not found. Meaning is forged, okay? Now, somebody's going to say that they splash water on them, and it's going to be like, hey, my village people have come, oh. Hey, my village people have come, oh. Somebody else, they splash water on them, and they go, man, it's time for me to finally buy that car. Or it's time for me to move away from that place with bad roads. Or it's an opportunity for me to demonstrate restraint and not give them a piece of my mind. Because the way I've gone, giving people different pieces of my mind, I'll soon be mindless, right? So you are the one who determines the meaning. I was raped at 6. That's bad. That's horrible. Not me. I'm just saying somebody may say that. But how are you going to reframe it? You could reframe by saying, I was raped so that my child will not be raped. I was raped so that I can become more sensitive. I'm not saying that's why I was raped. I'm saying because I was raped, my child will not be raped because my parents left me with an uncle that they overtrusted. Now I'm going to vet everybody in my world. I'm going to be there for my children. So let me give you an example. My wife and I, we pick our children from school every day. We take them to school, we drop them, not always together, okay? The day my mother-in-law picks the children, that day something must have really, really happened. So guess what? My life is designed to make that easy and possible. My children's school is within 10 minutes drive to the house. Our current ministry base is designed it's about 12 minutes drive from the house. I've been using a home office for years. I just got a big office space outside of the house because operations have grown. And even though a lot of stuff I do is digital, I need to scale, right? And get people to run with this thing. So got another space, right? It's about 15 minutes from the house. So I design my life based on the meaning I want my life to have. Don't try to derive meaning from life. Design your life around the meaning you were sent to demonstrate to the world. How does that happen? Reframe your memories, okay? So what you do, you reframe memories. What do you do with imagination? You frame expectations. Frame your expectations. Do you know that fear is a framing faculty? Fear is a framing device. When you're afraid of something, you are framing something. Now, let me give you an example. So you open the door, you enter a room, and somebody jumps out and says, hey, and you're afraid, right? Man, so people are giving me a lot of accolades in the comments. I see those. Thank you very much, Daniel Yakuba. I really honor and appreciate your great feedback and all of that. Okay? When somebody jumps from behind the door, you know, some of us will play all those pranks. Someone's come to the room, just jump out. Hey, why are you afraid when somebody jumps out? It is because there is a frame that is controlling your attitude. You thought it was something. So something that is not real can create fear in your life. So instead of allowing the unreal to create fear, use the real, which is the power of your mind, to create faith. Use your mind to externalize the faith deposited in your spirit. Choose to believe the best. You know, you can prepare for the worst, but believe the best. Now, preparing for the worst does not mean you're expecting the worst. It means you have framed the lowest you can fall to. Hey, I hope somebody's getting this now. And it works with your mind. So what's some of the things that I do that help my mind? Every day I must pray. It helps my mind. Why? I'm a big believer in God. I'm a big believer in God's divine inspiration. I feel like inspiration is like rain. One of my friends says to me all the time, he said, P-dams and inspiration, they are bed mates. Said, P-dams and creativity, you sleep on the same bed. And one of the things that really helps my inspiration and creativity is communion with God. I'll tell you what God said to me one day. He said, the sharpness of your mind can never exceed the sharpness of the mind you sharpen your mind with. And he said, my mind is the sharpest mind. That's why the word is like a double-edged sword. It's sharper than double-edged sword. How do you sharpen a knife? You rub that knife against something hard, like a stone. When you rub your mind against the rock of ages, your knife will become sharp. And when your mind is sharp, you can cut through opposition, you can cut through delay, you can cut through disappointment, you can cut through failure. You can. Are you seeing this now? This is important now. You can cut through a whole lot of things. So I study every day. I meditate. It's a technology many believers don't know, and many Nigerians have nothing about. Do you know what meditation is? Musing over something, brooding over something. There are different kinds of meditation. There's Oriental meditation, Transcendental meditation. I don't do all of that. I meditate on the word of God, and I meditate on the ideas that God has given to me. Now, when you meditate, it is like a chicken brooding on an egg. That egg has life on the inside of it, but it needs the temperature of the body warmth of the mother chicken to nurse it and bring the life out of it. Many of us have eggs of fantastic ideas, but we don't sit on them long enough through intentional meditation. Meditation is incubation. It is what begins to allow that egg to come into full form, into solidity, and empowers the life form on the inside of it to break through the shells and to bring all kinds of ideas into the world. So the power of the mind. So I meditate. What else do? I study. I probe. I ask questions. This is how you change your life. Let me tell you something. The quality of your life, and Tony Robbins says this, it says the quality of your life is dependent on the quality of your questions. When you start asking, see, one of the problems with Nigerians and Africans is that we have reduced our imagination to the level of survival. So we have reduced our inquisition and our quest to the level of survival. So what is the most common question in many Yoruba families? Let me tell you what it is. Many Yoruba families. In other words, what are we going to eat today? If the question you're asking is how to feed yourself, the solutions you will have will be how to feed yourself. But when you start asking questions like my friend, Dr. Stephen Akintayo, I can see him. When you start asking questions like that, of how can I own as many estates as people have clothes, so that I can create more jobs and grant people more resources, so I can depopulate the poverty scheme, so I can pull people above the poverty line. See, because when you create a job, you are feeding families. When you create a job, you are rescuing people from harlotry and prostitution and Yahoo. When you're the reason your business has to grow is not for you to become the richest person. It's for you to enrich other people. So if your question is about survival, your answers will be about survival. If your question is about wealth distribution and resource allocation, you become governmental in your outlook. Yeah. You become governmental in your outlook, and it changes everything. I need to run because time, right? So the mind, please, if you forget anything, don't forget this one. Stop claiming you worship God if you keep despising the mind he created. God never said don't use your mind. He said let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ. In other words, no matter how spiritual you are, you need your mind. Spirituality does not cause there to be a mental redundancy. Any spirituality that causes mental redundancy is what? False religiosity. Walking with God does not suspend your brain. It optimizes your thinking. So your mind, and your mind, I'm just very tired of seeing so many people who claim, right, to be speaking in tongues, but some of the basic life problems they can't seem to solve. And I'm not saying this in a disrespectful way. Please pray in tongues. But Paul said something. He said, when you pray in the spirit, what should you do? Pray in your understanding. Where's understanding? Your mind. So you need your mental capacity and faculties to extract the rich resources of revelation, inspiration, creativity, instruction that you receive when you pray. Number 2, don't forget changing your life with the power of 3. Number 2, mentors. Mentors.
Mind mentors.
Number 1 is mind. Number 2, mentors. Now, I said this many years ago, and I'm going to say it again. If you're not willing to embrace the wisdom of a mentor, you must be ready to endure the pain of the tormentor. A mentor can shorten your journey, but deepen your impact. A mentor can shorten your journey, but lengthen your reach. A mentor can shorten your journey, but expand your territory. Right? Now, the best kind of mentors are the physical mentors, people that you can walk up to, see, connect with. But these days, technology allows you to have mentors that you might see more often than people that are your next door neighbor. Right? But let me just touch on 2 things about mentorship for me in my personal life. Oh my goodness, and it's a good. I'm so sorry, Doc. I'm so sorry. Just give me 3 minutes, right? So 2000, so I started speaking professionally in 2008. So I was running my own seminars and all whatnot. 2009, some of you know, I went on this show called The Debaters, gave me massive mileage and exposure. We had some of the best teachers, not the most popular, but some of the best trainers in terms of communication and elocution come to teach us from USIS, United States Information Service, British Council, and all of that. So it really helped. And that was a major thing. And it was hosted by Mo Abudu, right? Major mileage. So when I say mentors, I'm talking about trainers, I'm talking about people who have gone ahead of you in different areas and all whatnot. And then 2010, when I came out of the show, of course, my invitations multiplied and a lot of access. But 2010, I got a call from one of my mentors' officers, Fela Tewe. And I can't go through the whole story, but the basic deal was that he had a corporate training gig and he needed smart, intelligent people who could deliver the training for him because work had grown and was not going to be able to handle all of that by himself. And so the very first corporate training gig I got, 2010, the very first one was because a mentor was in my space. A mentor was in my space. And apart from maybe some occasional increase I had gotten, I was able to earn within 3 days, what would have taken me maybe a month of my own speaking itinerary at the time. That is the power, one of the powers of mentorship, one of the powers of mentorship. I could talk about Pastor Paul Adefarasi and the mentorship relationship in creating exposure. By the way, one of the things that opens doors for you mentorship is don't go to take, go to give. I've never gone into a mentoring relationship with the idea of, I want to use this person. I want to climb on your shoulder. Please, sir, please never use that for me. Please, sir, can I climb on your shoulder? Please, can you be my ladder? Leaders are leaders. And my father is my feather. Can I fly on your private jet, sir? Can I become your incubator? Can I become your mobile phone? Please help me. I will not be palasa. I will be, You go to serve. You go to give. You go to share. You go to promote their work. You go to enrich their experience, to embellish their lives. And number 3, because of time. Number 3 is mastery. The third M is mastery. Seest thou a man diligent in his ways? He shall stand before kings and not mere men. In other words, if he's diligent with the vulcanizing job, one day he will fix the king's tire. One day he will fix the president's tire. Mastery. Many people blame almost everything but their own lack of mastery. Please don't be a dabbler. Be a master. Okay? You can't even duplicate a CD if you have not first mastered it. Ooh. So there are people that you say, I'm working on an album. My first album, my debut album is out in 13 days, 24th of March, which is also my birthday, right? So please download, stream, share, buy, purchase, give towards it, and all of that. So maybe that's why mastering album is in my head, right? So don't pray for duplication if you have not mastered. You've not mastered that thing. Mastery. What does mastery mean? Make every day a masterpiece. If you make every day a masterpiece, you will not have to pray for your life to have a good legacy. Because every day you are beginning to master communication, interpersonal skills. By the way, if somebody's looking for a job, I will recommend, if you want to be a speaker or a trainer or a coach or something or a leader, You're looking for a job, no job is coming. I recommend go and find somebody who is very productive with their assets or products and offer to be a salesperson. Sales will make you rich in this world. Sales will make you richer than almost any other thing. Why? Because in selling, you're understanding psychology, persuasion, negotiation, technique. You're understanding framing. You're understanding mirroring. You're understanding NLP without studying for it. Are you seeing that now? But whatever you choose, you must master it. Don't be a dabbler. Don't be, you're here today, you're there tomorrow. There are people who, I go to speak at places, and people will say, you came to my school in 2008. You came to my school. I met someone at the filling station last week, Sunday. He said to me, I attended your seminar. It was called Upgrade Business Seminar. So I did the personal growth in the business growth. He said, I came to your seminar 2015, 7 years ago. He said, I came to a seminar. There was that, I will never forget that day because it was so great, so powerful. But at the end of the training and seminar, my girlfriend left me. He drove away, left me there, broke up with me. The gentleman now brought the memorabilia or the souvenirs of his company. He runs a successful IT firm now. Then he showed me his beautiful wife and his son. And he said, oh, I still remember the impact you had on me those years ago. Amazing. That's 7 years ago. Amazing. So as I close, please, 3 things. Number 1, mind. Number 2, mentors. Number 3, mastery. And when you do this, you will move from self-awareness and have an amazing time.
God.
That somebody got something.
Jesus.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Freedoms. Somebody should have warned me. I would have been better prepared for this session. Thank you so much. Thank you. Like my heart is bursting up. Gratitude, joy, knowledge. Thank you for pouring, for sharing. God bless you. Peter, I'm sorry we brought you for just an hour. I apologize. Please, I'm very sorry.
It's fine.
See, I'm thanking you in advance for a 3-hour session.
Wow.
And don't worry, we'll pay you in pounds, Seth. 3-hour session. Then you can come. See, I just like this. I'll be listening, I'll be writing. That's how I will be on that day.
Wow.
Forgive us for the short time. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
you. You need to go and say thank you to P Dams on Instagram. He's an Instagram star boy. Okay, just go on Instagram at Dami Oluwatoyinbo Global, right?
Dami Oluwatoyinbo Global.
Yes, sorry. Sorry. So at Dami, please let me put that in the chats on YouTube at Dami Oluwatoyinbo Global. Yes. So his first account was hacked some months ago, but he's on this one now. Please send him a thank you message, like a proper message. Say, thank you for this. You are from Transformers Mentoring Hub, and this is what you have learned. This is what you will do differently. And 10, 12, 15 years from now, please, when you see him at the airport, you see him, just say, please, sir, I was there on that day. Okay. Thank you, Peter. I'm not even sure how to thank you, but my heart blesses you. My heart thanks you. Thank you so much. The fun, the jobs. I'm like, God, who is this guy? Please. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Coach James. I'm so grateful.
We celebrate you. So, guys, please celebrate Peter. Yes. Say thank you to him. So we have 1,100 and so students signed up for this program, and they will all have access to the replay for at least the next 1 week so that they can watch it over and over and soak it in, right? And then, yes, that's it. Thank you so much, Fidas. God bless you, sir. I love you so much.
Me too. I see Doc. I'm
right now.
Let him just hear the words of a billionaire.
You know it. So, guys, let me get out of the way. Let's Jennifer do a short intro of Dr. Steven. A short intro. Just see, he's here already. Was the periphery of his intro. Okay, let's get him in. By the way, it is extremely late where he is. It's about 12 a.m. where he is. So he's awake because of us. Guys, I hope you can see the sacrifice that we are paying on your behalf. Please don't mess up. Okay? Yes, Jennifer, please go on.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's been an amazing evening. And to ride on this energy that our dear Mr. Dami has brought is none other but Dr. Stephen Akintayo. Before I bring him up, you guys, you watch all these YouTube videos, you know, now they pop up as ads where you see somebody enters his room and speaks to the door and the door opens, you know, those kind of things, right? And you desire it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing someone who, amongst the number of things, the multiple streams of income and areas where he deploys his expertise and his gift. One of it is within a real estate company called Gtexthomes. Dr. Stephen Akintayo is Africa's most influential financial coach, a serial entrepreneur, and the GMB and CEO of Gtex Global. And Gtexthomes is just one out of 10 subsidiaries. He saddled with the mission of building the first green and smart homes in Africa. Guys, Stephen Akintayo Consulting expands the frontiers of knowledge and wealth through different mentorship programs, such as real estate, digital and paper asset investment advisory. He has hosted some of the world's most sought after speakers on his platform. People like Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Brian Tracy, and Les Brown. He is the host of the investment chat in a Rolls Royce. For those of you who are saying, I want to chill with the big boys, this is the biggest chilling you can ever have with the biggest of boys. He teaches people about different investment opportunities around the globe. And Learning Luxury Show, a show that educates on the benefits of owning luxury and monetizing it. After all, luxury isn't bad at all. Dr. Stephen is the author of 37 books, and his latest being the Billionaire Habits book. Ladies and gentlemen, Transformers Mentoring Hub. Join me with fire emojis in the chat right now to welcome Dr. Stephen Akintayo.
DSA of the Lord Jesus. Please unmute.
Beautiful. It's good to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here. I think you set me up for trouble here, because after Pastor Dami, what do you want me to come and say?
Is your itinerary, DSA? You knew that we had to climb 7 mountains and swim 7 oceans to get you here. Is your itinerary that caused it to?
I know, but you have allowed me to do my first session in a gentle tone, and then Pastor Dami scattered the ground. You know, me I'm more.
DSA, you are not gentle. You are gentle now. When this class is over, you will be shouting in your hotel room, say, what's happening? You, oh yeah, now let's see.
It is well. Thank you, Pastor Dami, for that. That was fantastic. I was blessed, and of course, I'm not surprised. I've always been blessed by you. God bless you for what you do, and just such a blessing and a unique man. Thank you to the team for having me. Tewe is such a special person to me. In fact, Google calls her my wife, actually. When you Google who is my wife, you see Tewe Ajibewa. So we're currently having to rectify that, so, but such a wonderful person. It's good to be here. I'm excited about what, you guys have been learning. Amazing speakers, Jimi, Tewe, Great people have been invited. I pray we do something while we're learning, because it's not just about hearing, it's about doing. One of the biggest secrets of my life is that I had to work so hard to make sure that my life goes beyond just listening and hearing and to doing more than I even learn. And that changed my life forever, right? I'm a dangerous doer. Like I just tell me and I will do it. Currently we're in US, in UK, and in Dubai. A lot of people see me sell top properties in the UK, particularly in Dubai here, and don't know that is my own mentorship session for what I'm replicating in Africa. And it's important that we do. Africans, we talk a lot. We everybody has an answer to every issue, but not many of us are doing. And I hope that all of us who participate at this event will become doers and God helping us. I want to share about discovering purpose. How did I discover purpose? It's been a tough journey for me, knowing what I was called to do. First of all was that I was born very, very poor. Yesterday I was at Burj Al Arab. Burj Al Arab is said to be the world's 7-star hotel. So I have a show called Investment Chat in a Rolls Royce. So we shoot now in Dubai at Burj Al Arab. So I've been lodged there for a while, for 2 days. So last night I had to do a video. Was it last night or the day before? The most expensive toilet I've ever used was of course Burj Al Arab toilet. And I was saying that, do you know, I never saw a water closet until I was age 13. That you can flush your poo-poo. I didn't do that until, in fact, the first day, me and my sibling, we had to be flushing. It was a miracle. It was something special. Like, we're just pressing the thing like that, so they can flush. Because before then, it was short put we used to do. And of course, pit toilet, those were what we're used to. And that I was seeing that for the first time, age 13. And so the first thing I would say in discovering purpose, and I learned this from Miles Morrow, whatever irritates you the most is what you're created to solve. And so for me, poverty irritated me. My mom would take us to our junior staff, not even senior. Okay, sometimes senior as well. Junior staff, and say, Omo in law school, Ejo, and share, I will interpret that, meaning your son is going to school, kindly borrow me money to buy some groceries for him to go to school. And they will look at me and my mom from top to bottom. And of course, with a very annoying answer that they don't have money themselves. And, they're struggling. And I remember we leave the place, I would start yelling at my mom, what kind of embarrassment? Why would we go and be borrowing money from them? Of course, today, my mom is late. And of course, that's one of the biggest regrets of my life. And what did I know then? I didn't know that, of course, she herself was embarrassed, but she had no choice. She has 5 children and she's the only breadwinner. And she just has to find a way to send them to school. And she vowed, because she felt her promotion was affected because she didn't have a university degree. So she wanted to make sure her children go to school. So whatever is irritating you right now, whatever it is that is your biggest nightmare, is probably what God has created you to solve. So it's not, a coincidence that today I probably am one of the highest, I probably raised the highest and fastest number of billionaires. This year alone, I've had more than 5 people send us testimony of in 12 months becoming a billionaire from my teaching, right? One of them just sent his own. He listened to how we set target last year for our Dubai business to do $20 million. So, I mean, he was like, oh no. And then this year, $100 million was our target for our Dubai business. And he said, you know what? My own target is 2 billion naira. And he just closed a property deal of 3.6 billion and sent us the testimony, right? I had another one, who also started his real estate business and did over 2 billion. In fact, there's one who is in my coaching program, did 3 billion last year in real estate. So it's not coincident that today God has used me to really raise billionaires and millionaires, because that which irritates me the most, seeing people being poor myself, struggling through poverty. At some point I felt there must be some demons that just vowed I won't be rich. This is because I did almost 20 businesses, they kept failing. Pastor Dami was mentioning Pastor Paul Adefarasin. I know how many experience, that I went to sell popcorn. While we were dancing, I was also selling popcorn at the side. In fact, the one that rained was supposed to be my biggest breakthrough, because I was able to get a loan. We got a lot of Coke. So I added Coke and a couple of things to my popcorn business. Went to buy, I think, about 4 popcorn machines, and it was the biggest loss because it then rained. And then, so people couldn't buy popcorn, the drinks we bought, it was a mess. So it was just like, oh no, something was always messing this whole trying to be wealthy. And that leads me to number 2. For me, poverty was also a trigger to discovering purpose. The fact that I was poor. So first of all, of course, I was irritated by poverty, but the fact that I remained poor. I remember some people asking me questions and say, why didn't you give up? I said, I had no choice. Honestly, if I had a choice, I would give up. But I just didn't have one. When my late mother died, my late mother was also now my hope. My final year, she died of ovarian cancer. We couldn't send her to a good hospital on time to diagnose her for 6 months. By the time, her boss sent her to a private hospital to diagnose what was going on, it has spread. She was like a 9-month pregnant woman. And I had the hope, because I had always known I would do business. And I've been doing business on campus. So my hope was that by the time I graduate from school, my mom would take a loan, and that would be my capital to start business. Now she died. Before I remember my final year, of course, I couldn't pay school fees. So I had a trade fair that I was organizing even before she died. Of course, now she's dead. So I organized the trade fair, and day 2, the VC said we should cancel the whole thing, that he's canceling the trade fair, we should leave. I remember going to meet him, prostrating on the floor, crying and begging that my mother had died. Is the proceeds from this trade fair I'm going to use to pay school fees. I said all manner, and he was just conning me and told me to get out, and and ended that trade fair. So everything I kept doing, we had a time in the house with my older brother. My older brother was married, his wife was pregnant, and for 2 days we had not eaten, nothing, with his pregnant wife as well. And so that forced me to say, you know what, I'm going to go, what can I sell? I started bulk SMS on campus. So I used to go to 20 schools. So I said, at this point that there's even no food, something has to come. So I would trek to 20 schools a day to convince them to buy bulk SMS from me. They don't know me from it. Adam, I don't even have a laptop. When they pay me, I will now need to collect the database of their parents and then go to a cyber cafe to end up sending the message. But poverty forced me to jump up. Now, this is powerful. If you're already on the ground, you have nowhere else to go than to go up. And I want us to know that when you are in that point, most likely you are facing what you are called to do, right? In many cases, when you have no other place to go, you have no other option, just look, right? Just think deeper. You are in front of what God called you to do. You are right there, right there. Sometimes we just don't see it, that this is it. And this is what helps you to stay the course. Sometimes people say to me, you are rich enough, okay, to relax. You still work 15 hours a day. Why? It was poverty. I tell, I don't want to go back to my to where I'm coming from. Like, you don't get it. So whatever it takes, we have to keep pushing. We have to keep pushing. We have to keep pushing, right? We have to keep shattering those records till we get there and it becomes transgenerational. Number 3, very important, is mentors. Mentors are pointers to what you're called to do. One of those who God used for me was my spiritual mentor. And I keep saying it, that if I feel like relaxing in business, I just need to see Bishop Oyedepo and I wake up. I mean, before I left Nigeria, I was in Canaan land for service. And of course, I went there on Friday and I went to the new auditorium that is being constructed. My brain reset, and incidentally, I'm close to the person who is really behind, the funding, and all of that, and a lot of key decision making for that project. And when he was giving me some figures, I shook my head like, Holy Ghost, Jehovah. You're talking of a project that is worth over 100 billion naira, right? And it's just like one of those things. I were talking and said, okay, you know what? So I said, what do we do with these transportation things? Oh, so that's not an issue. Some companies have written that they're going to use their chopper. Church members can now start using chopper to come to church. $200, per passenger. I said, of course, I mean, definitely that would be even easier for me. And that, an airport is being, when I was hearing the whole thing, my brain was just like, oh no. So what does this mean? You see, a step of a giant is a marathon for a dwarf. When you have giant mentors, right? One step by them gets you to start running your own marathon. You start pumping, you start pushing. One of my great influence is also Dr. Cosmos Maduka. I when I look at how successful the man has been, he was in my office before I left Nigeria, and the level of humility, right? The level of, you just know that, Oga, you have long way to go. So and this is the trick. Get mentors that are way far. I was sharing with Temi, I think it was Temi, that I was sharing with the contract that I just got from Grant Cardone. Okay, I'll be hosting Grant Cardone in London, in London, Dubai, and in Nigeria. I'm hosting physically, and he's coming with his wife, with his children, of course, because he has to come with his private jet, a couple of other, key things. I was sharing what it's costing me. Let me see if I can share this, because some of these things is better shared, right? So that it doesn't look like a story. Can anybody see the fees here? This is 1.35 million, right? Dollars, right? If we change it to Nigerian naira, that should give us, I think around 800, almost 800 million naira to host one man. Okay, but what we don't understand, because sometimes we feel that mentors are expensive, right? It's because you also don't know how they get you to move at a faster pace, right? Your mindset change, right? I never think of, I mean, before the end of this year, we're already shopping for a private jet. I never think I could even own a private jet yet until I met Grant Cardone. I remember these guys were telling me there, you know, I went and said, oh, did you come with your own PJ? I said, PWT. So there's a way mentors just push you, right? They just stretch you. And that just helps you to even be focused. And in many cases, even if you don't know what your purpose is, you start aligning. And over time, it gets clearer. Even if what you had to start doing was to follow them, you will discover yours in that process. And that's the same thing would have happened to even Pastor Dami, right? Pastor Dami used to be in House on the Rock, and, you know, we see him Pastor Kings today, right? So you could see how mentors help to clear your path, help you to guide you and make that direction very clearer. Of course, some of the factors that helped me, and this you also have, in my own case, was my late mother. So I will give you a story I've never shared in public before. I told you Temi is a special person to me, okay? I've never shared this story before in public. So I gave my life to Christ I was a teenager when I gave my life to Christ, I think 14 or so. But of course, when I got to university, I was in a hall, a lot of bad friends, and everybody, of course, we used to go to gym, and then I was not good pumping very well. So they said, you know what, if you take Igbo, you know, you will pump, you'll be able to gym very well. So I said, I have never smoked. I don't drink, I don't smoke. I've never just liked it. So I said, but can we eat this Igbo? Because I'm not just the smoker. So why not? So, so I ate some, and it was as if there was nothing doing me. So I did my gymming, went, had shower, was now going to school. I was on the bike. My eye was just, it was as if I was going to fall off the Okada. So I had to ask the Okada to turn back. So I went back to my room, locked the door, and slept off. And I had a dream. In fact, that's the day I discovered my biggest fear. So I dreamt that I was older. I was in my 40s. I had beards all over me. I was now a drug addict, and I came home and my mother was in tears. I remember waking up from that dream shouting. I was shouting. Since that time, I've never had such a encounter. You jump from and shouting. And that was, of course, the last time I ever tried Igbo in my life. So the fact that I had a mother who worked so hard, who suffered, helped me to realize that I have to become purposeful. I cannot just waste all that effort. My wife also played a great role. I'm married to a wonderful woman, right? Wonderful. There's nothing I did. She joined me in selling popcorn. And she was from a more average, stable family, but just believed in one, crazy guy like that. I remember going to my in-law to tell him I wanted to marry his daughter, and he said, I am not responsible enough to marry his daughter. Right? He looked at me, I was on palm slippers, on it, and then I said, I want to marry his favorite daughter of all, for that matter. And of course, he literally even slapped her when they got home, like, what do you know about marriage? See who you brought. You're no correct. My wife married me, against her father's consent, when it wasn't that we're doing well. So now, you may not have a mother like mine, you may not have a wife like mine, but there's somebody in your life who is pointing you in the right direction. It may be your boss, it may be your uncle, it may be your brother, it may be your cousin, it may just be somebody in the neighborhood. Many times these people exist, but we never just take notice of them. And we never get closer to them. And we never find ourselves to say, this person is playing a significant role, right? How can I remain grounded? How can I get closer, right? I mean, everybody's busy and everybody have other things to do. If some people give you attention, you better take those people special. I was listening to Pastor Boju, I think on Sunday, and he made mention of something powerful, and it's been the secret of my life. And I want you to take note of this. If there are people who have showed up for you in your toughest time, right? Never, ever forget them, right? Literally have a diary where you write it and say, there was a season of my life, right? That this person did this, that did this, that did this. You know, the last time I hosted Feladrote, he was sharing something about, you know, some things I do for him. And because I never, you know, worked with him, in fact, I met him one-on-one just very recently. But I was in the back row, so in 2005 or something, he came to Osu. And I was in a crossroad, right? Everybody was leaving the country. My mother too was trying to say, okay, let's see how maybe you get scholarship, we'll do something. And the guy talked about New Nigeria, talked about what was possible, right? And that shaped my purpose. Suddenly, thinking of traveling out of Nigeria, I said, I will make it in this country. And when I travel, I will be a big man. And it has happened today. So, you know, I've traveled, but it's not that I ran away. We own businesses. We employ citizens of those countries. We pay in dollars, in pounds, in dirhams to people, right? Our first year in Dubai, we spent over almost 2 million dirhams, you know, in running the business operation, right? And for you to understand that, you need to multiply that by 158 or 160 now, right? So, but the point was, if Feladrote had not shared those things, I probably have traveled out. I probably will be working somewhere as an average person, earning max $50 an hour, $100 an hour. But I will not be at the level I am today, right? You know, and one of the things I did, I wrote that down, that this man, even though he didn't know, right, played a role in that becoming. And I want to beg you, because that was a powerful message by Pastor Pochi, that when you help people, you may choose not to mention it, right? But when people help you, when certain people help you, right, you want to take it down. You want to even tell your children and say, this man, this woman was there for me, right? Because when you do that, and this is also helping in your own being grounded in your purpose, but it also goes a long way in convincing God to keep helping you, because you have shown the heart of gratitude. The Bible talked about, David. David says, there nobody in the house of Saul, in the house of Jonathan? Is there nobody? This guy, Jonathan, risk his life. Risk is, if this position I am is his position, he let it go. Is there nobody from that guy's house that I can show mercy and help? There must be somebody. And so when you hear God say, David is a man after my heart, it goes beyond just, this guy understand, certain deeper things, right? From gratitude to God, gratitude to man. You saw how he had the opportunity to kill Saul. I was saying, no, I'm not going to do that. This man, he may not be the devil now, but at some point, God used him, right? And he has something on his life. So these are powerful things, because there are some fights you don't need to fight, okay? There are some people that you don't need to fight, even if it looks like they're fighting you. It's part of discovering purpose. In fact, when you discover purpose, you see, it makes you more humble, because there are just certain relationships will have been thrown away. But you just say, at some point, this person will be relevant. there are certain ways you will have dealt with people, right? I had an experience right now where one particular employee of mine is an expatriate, and paying, of course, paying in dollars, right? This guy, month one, did not deliver one thing in his job description, and he's always complaining. Cut the long story short, in 2 months of that relationship, we've spent so much. And by the time he was leaving, right, I had to tell the team, go get him flight ticket, do his COVID test, right? Pay him this, pay him that. The normal me won't do it. But that's what purpose does. Because something just tell you, somehow, this may show up in future. Somehow, this may come around. Just do it right. Right? Just do it right. Right? It may be painful. It may cost you so much. But that's what purpose does. Right? It may make you even look as if your head no correct. But just do it right. Just do it right. And I look back at my life today and I said, if I had not done some things right, at the level we have come now, things will have messed up. There will have been so many scandals. There will have been so many, right? But the fact that one had remained on course had helped in a great way. Lastly, which is very important as well, is testimonies of people who have been blessed by what you do. Helps you to discover your purpose, right? When people share with you, I sat down with you, and this happened to me, right? I had this conversation with you, and this happened to me. That tells you there's a gift somewhere. This area, people keep noting that they got change. They got it. Sometimes you don't even feel you've done anything special. You don't even feel like something, what did I do? But when they start coming, so you say, okay, so there's something here. There's something here. For example, today I teach on finance and investment. I actually wasn't teaching that. I've tried other things to teach. But I realized that it was this finance thing that people give more testimony. If it's finance you now want, who will give you more? Right? It costs me nothing. So testimonies that you get. And that's why even on my page, if you follow me, we try to share testimonies of what people say about their experience with me. Is important. Don't joke with it. Don't just say, oh, they are psyching me. Oh, they are just trying to make me feel somehow. Make sure that you note those testimonies. Read them to yourself. Let the world see them, because we are in a very wicked world. We're in a very harsh world. We're in a world where people don't care. People use words carelessly. People are just brutal, wicked. We will not have bullies on social media, right? But let your result terminate their insult. Share the testimony, right? I had a session with somebody yesterday, and this is what they said. I hosted a friend of mine, and after we talked, this was what the friend said about me. It helps you to, David said, testimony have hidden in my heart, right? Very powerful. Put those testimonies in your heart, particularly in tough times of your life, in very difficult times of your life. When you look back, when it looks as if what people have said about you, there are times where people just say so much terrible things about you, that if you just go back to good things others have said, you say, no, I'm not that bad. I may not be perfect, but there's a blessing in it. Destroy it not. There's a blessing in me. Okay? I will not be destroyed. There's something good in me, right? I will not be destroyed. I'm getting better. I work more on me, but there's something good in me, and it can only get better. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've been blessed with these few words of mine. Like I told you, I'm not like, Pastor Dami.
Wow. Thank you so much, this. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Yes, thank you so much, DSA, for coming this evening. I don't take this for granted at all. It should be about after 12 a.m. your time. God bless you. That's all I can say. Thank you for pouring your thoughts, your experience, your story into these young people. So this program is for young people between the age of 16 and 24, right? And you are decades older than that. So you're speaking to your younger self. And I say that these were things that some people would wish they knew when they were younger. I've had 50-year-old women in my class asking me that, tell me, where have you been the last 30 years of my life? And I'm saying, I was in my mother's womb. They never born me that time, You're like, because just 2 hours with you and you've saved me 30 years. I wish I had known you, longer. I've had women who had no idea what their purpose was in life. And then we speak. So this thing you said about testimonials, at the time, I was so used to myself. They'll keep asking, what business do I start? What did this one money? This one business? I'm like, I used to foolishly say, how can you guys be so stupid? This thing is simple now. It's not just to do this. Can't you think? Are you dumb? I used to ridicule their question because I feel like it was normal. It was simple. I had no idea that it was simple to me because I was functioning in my place of purpose. But it was a big deal to them. They could not, fathom it. So that one was so spot on. And also what irritates you. I think till date, I'm not sure what irritates me more than to see people passionately broke or people who are so smart, yet so broke, like PhD holders, university lecturers, like, with all the book you don't have money. Like, who does that? That one irritates the hell out of me. So yes, that is a big one, right? And of course, mentors. So, when you admire people and what they do, that's to tell you what your heart is longing for, right? What they are doing is what is attracting you to them. You don't even mind their character. You don't even mind their age or their gender or their tribe. Not just because they are living a life that you also desire. That is pointing you towards your purpose. So thank you so much. And it just tells me, the first time I began to do a hit list of people I wanted to be, they're like, this person, and like, I had a list of those. I was just, I must have you in my corner, right? And I really honor you. I bless you for being here this evening to share with us. God bless you so much. I think we can take just one question. Is that possible, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you so much. So, Jennifer, you will look through the chat and see if we have any question, and then you can unmute and share. With
what's the YouTube name?
Transformers Mentoring Hub. So let me send you the direct link on WhatsApp. Perhaps you can just visit it from there. Okay. Let me see. Well, yeah, this is. So I'll share the link with you, the link to the video directly. So we have over 1,000 people sign up for this program. Right now, I can see 39 of us are live, and it's just so disheartening. How can we have people come registered in thousands, and yet we are seeing only 38, 40 people? It just shows that this success thing there, most of us want it with mouths. But when it's time to now pay the price, you begin to dilly-dally. You begin to negotiate with your life and your success. And well, it is what it is. So I want to thank you. Somebody says, my question to you, sir, is when you think about doing extraordinary things, but the circle you grow up with are not doing extraordinary things, what should you do? Brito, it seems you missed yesterday's class where Jimmy talked about environment. And he said, if you want to eat blueberries, you go to where blueberries is being served. Thank you, Oriavogene. You consciously move it. So go and watch the replay. It's available for free right here on YouTube. So go and watch the replay and listen to what Jimi said about deliberately changing your circle and your environment. He thought about it actually. As also that purpose discovery, you said that it's what irritates you is what you are meant to solve. What about what you have passion for? Now, that's one area as well. What irritates you is what you have passion to solve. So it's the other way. It irritates you, yes, but now you now have passion to solve it. Irritation is a problem. Your passion is the solution. At least you can't have passion for poverty, can you? No. So you can have irritation for poverty. However, you have passion to be rich. You have passion to conquer poverty, right? I'm trying to save us time from taking any, let's ask a billionaire $1 billion question. Hello, ask a billionaire $1 billion. Don't waste these kind of opportunities, this kind of, real-time mentoring for free. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. All right. If I need no more questions, please, I encourage everyone to follow say Dr. Akintayo on Instagram. Is a star boy on TikTok. Like is doing phenomenal out there. Also on Instagram is posting like every day, every hour. I mean, to just see something. This guy manage it. So we're really good I'm really grateful to have him here. All right. So somebody is asking, I think this is one sensible question that I think you can take and then create a night for you. Somebody says, Simon, it seems all you are trying to do is break from this chain of poverty and it's not working. What do you do? That's the only question you will take, and then we'll let you go. Wendy, I'll take your question on mentoring, okay? Thank you, sir. Please go ahead.
Well, my answer is that that's just normal, I know it's difficult for you to agree with me, but it's normal. We've all been there. We've all had that period where you just keep doing it and it looks as if it doesn't get better. Reverend Sam shared something like that about how, you go and meet Bishop Oyedepo, probably say, okay, try this, give him two principles, go in. So there was a time he went back and Bishop Oyedepo said, there's no more principle this time.
Wait it out.
Just keep doing what you are doing and things, right? So there's a season where it's not as if you need another more principle. Just keep doing what you're doing and things will change. And I think I am grateful and I am happy that you're hearing this because I heard this and it helps me. Even in our company, there are tough seasons and we always have that, but sometimes we have to be forced to downsize, and it always works like I'm using jazz because here is me downsizing, and then 3 months down the line, the people who think we're about to crash, we just see us, boom, like more than what they've ever seen. So it didn't look like, man, are you sure? Because I was there. I saw us,
going down,
cutting down, doing this, and then boom. Like,
you're blowing.
Are you sure? Something, but it's because I've gotten to that point where I just understand that just keep your staying power, is what eventually opens the door of success. Your staying power, powerful. In fact, Joshua, write that down for me so that I might see. Your staying power, right, is what eventually opens the door of success. If they normally say that last straw that breaks the camel's back, actually it's your staying power. That is that last straw that eventually gets you there. If you just keep at it, right? Keep at it. So I want to encourage you. We've all been there, where it's like you're doing everything, it's not changing, it's not getting. However, I'm not saying you shouldn't change strategy. I'm not saying you shouldn't reach out to other people for help because you really need to, and it's powerful that you do. In fact, that's one of the things I'm discovering now. I mean, years ago, and I hope Tewe will discover that too.
Yes,
Yes, I used to think that there's another super strategy. There's another new, if I can just hit that formula again. But what I've realized in recent time is that there's no more formula to hit. There's just a new network to connect with.
Whoa.
Yeah. So your first 100,000 is,
Hey,
in fact,
dollars.
your first 1 million is going to be
Naira.
through hard work. Right? Your first 100 million is going to be through strategic thinking, strategic partnership. Or your first 1 billion is just going to be purely who you know. Strictly connection, strictly relationships that you keep. It's no longer hard work, it's no longer smart thinking, it's just being able. That's why sometimes it looks as if rich people, they like to go and play golf, they just go, they just, but no, that's the real work at their level. That's the real work. Is the right relationship, so whatever it takes, whatever it costs, which is why someone like me will be paying somebody $1.35 million, right, to host a person.
Being their network.
Yes, it's because those who follow him will start following me. Those who couldn't reach, right? We are attempts. So if I could even reach, at least, particularly the black ones, this one is my color. Let me try and reach. You obviously know what the guy has. That his own friends will now want to say, hey, can we do something with that guy? The guy seems to be the African guy. He will even tell them, don't open Africa, talk to this guy. So there will ultimately be more that will come. So a level comes where it's no longer more work. It's no longer more strategic, whatever. It's just that right
network.
My
goodness. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you. See, I'm owing you maybe a night at this your Bujara Kala. I'm owing you a night there. Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you. I will release you to just quickly exit. And so I will pass all the announcement. He will share his handle for you to go and reach out to. Somebody was asking that, what do you tell an aspiring, get a mentor. DSA has a mentorship program, okay? Get on his mentorship program, get a mentor, don't make mistakes. So he will tell you that one of the things that blew him up was that he knew what he was looking for. And he was so strategic. He went pin, and he shortened his own journey. So if you want to shorten your journey, you heard him talk about his mentees who are doing billions. It's not millions, it's billions. That means from 1 million, 2 million, 10 million, 20 million, 90 million, 100 million, 500 million, 900 million, to billion ahead. I mean, let me give you that counting so you understand that it's not, and now they're doing, so get into a mentorship program with somebody who is living your dreams. Yes, that there is a current version of your goals. There is somebody right now who is living your life. You want to stay plugged in to them. All right. So let's say all the thank yous and reach out to DSC. So Jennifer, is it okay for you to go now? And I have 2 questions. I'll take them on mentoring, on how when mentoring relationship goes sour, right? That's fine. But just go with the announcement and I would.
So let me just give. So since you is a team of young people, just go to Dr. S. Akintayo on TikTok. Let me see if I can type it here. I'm now big on TikTok because I realized.
I was saying that just now that you're a star boy on TikTok now.
Yeah. I realized that the next generation is there and it's just good to be able to connect with them and also sanitize the system, because oftentimes what rubbish they talk about, and then
Akintayo. Yeah,
when
I've put that on the
yes,
YouTube
so
channel.
you
Yeah.
can follow up there. For those of you who want, we have a university, www.smartauniversity.com. It's just for $7 a month.
Okay.
And learn a lot, all from Robert Kiyosaki, Grant Cardone. I mean, Timmy was in some of those sessions, John Maxwell, all of them. You know, we're all together there teaching you how to build your wealth and move it to the next level. Thank you so much, guys, for having me. I'm grateful.
God bless you. We are most grateful. Thank you. Good night. Sleep well. Okay. Jenny, please go on.
Thank you so much for handling that session as well, Coach Timmy. So do you want to take the questions that were raised, mentor?
Yes, I think just that one question, then we'll call it a night, okay? Our sessions are from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. But some I'm like, let's finish faster. Somebody was asking that, how do you handle? So I have this book on mentoring, okay? It's called A Millennial's Guide to Mentoring. And I wrote one of the finest minds in Africa. Akintayo was also a contributor. I wrote it alongside so many people, you know, John Obi, Emeka Nobi, Stephanie Obi, Trisha B's, Praise for Wowe, Bankole Williams, Samaba Femi, Nia Desonya, Ubon King of Blessed Memory, Steve Harris, and so on and so forth, right? There is a chapter in that book, chapters, and I said, what do you do when mentoring goes sour? So you even use the exact words that I used in the book, like, what do you do when mentoring goes sour? So let me go to the page and try and give you a sneak peek. But I think I recommend that you all get the book. Let me drop Akintayo's handle is also Dr. S. Akintayo. Oh, I missed the title. Please, could you help me type in the correct thing there? Akintayo. I missed the title. On TikTok, please take note of the correct link. Okay, so I said here in the book, and you all should go and get this book. You can go to www.temiagbewa.com/books. Okay, so what do you do? Well, I have been a victim of social abuse before in mentorship, and so I know. So one of the first things you do is you learn to forgive. You forgive the person, you forgive yourself. Because you could say, oh, I was a fool to have trusted him. I was a this, I was a that, right? And so you then say, oh, you forgive yourself. So forgive yourself, forgive the person. And then if it's a relationship that you know that you were guilty of, go and apologize and get that person's mentor to help you apologize. If they offended you, then you want to cut clean from the relationship without slamming the door. Okay, so you want to just gently close the door and not slam it. One of my relationships that turned sour some years ago, this person now happens to be one of my core pillars right now in life. Like whenever I want to make a decision that is very tough, and I'm like, should I? Should I not? Should I? If I'm calling 3 people, this person has a number there. If I'm calling 2 people, is like it's the second person I will call. But I had to grow past that hurt and that pain, right? So what you learn to do is you gently close the door. You don't bang the door. And if it was the other way around, that they hurt you, if you would not hurt them, you want to be okay with being humble again to ask for a second chance. All right, it won't be easy. You will likely pay more. When I say pay, I don't mean money. I mean time, energy. So you likely pay so much more, right? To be back in their good books, but it needs to be done. All right. I hope this helps you. You can get this book at www.temi@gbewa.com. That's my name, // books. You will see all my books are there to buy, or you can send me a DM on Instagram, and we can definitely what now? We can definitely share, send you the link. All right. Name of the university is www.akintayo.university. Okay. It was shared here earlier on. All right. So Jennifer, please wrap up the meeting. Thank you so much.
Definitely get the book and get as many resources. You know, one of the things we do, the vision of TMH, is to ensure that you have cutting edge information, cutting edge content, and resources, because these are resources that you ordinarily will probably not have heard of, you know, but now we're drawing your attention to it. Well done to you, to all 39 of us who are here, who are watching, who are committed to changing our realities. Guess what? Tomorrow we continue. This is not the final day. We still have 2 more days to go. And tomorrow we're going to have Mr. Sam Harvard. He's a traffic hacker and a software entrepreneur. We'll also have Dr. Niyi Borire, the award-winning neurologist.
Okay, sorry, please. It's very likely that we have Mr. Sam's session earlier at about 6:30. Okay, yeah. So you see your email, your reminder email in the morning. Please pay attention to it, and also the Telegram channel. Okay, but to be safe, just be here by 6:30, because he has another appointment, another meeting for 8, so he wants to finish on time. So 6:30, you will start his session. So we can begin officially by 6 o'clock, and then once it's maybe 6:20 or so, you come in, quickly share, and then move on. Okay, so guys, please take notes.
All right, let's take note of that, and be sure to be here at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Set your reminders, set your alarms, so that you don't miss out on anything. Of course, some of these reminders, like starting at 6 p.m., will be on the Telegram channel. This is why you need to be on the Telegram channel, okay? Follow us on Instagram at Transformers Mentoring Hub. I'm telling you that this is a point where we need to do a social media rinse or a detox. Change the community that you're already following on social media. Share about the bootcamp. Send somebody the link, transformersmentoringhub.com, so that they can watch. The part of the reason why we want people to register is that we send the replay links, and you know the replays are on the channel only for 24 hours. But if you're registered, you have at least a week to go through the content, which is it will be more beneficial for you, and you can go over it again and again. Of course, you're watching on YouTube, so don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and turn on the notification icon so that you know even after this bootcamp when any resource, any video content that will be useful to you is posted on the channel. Thank you so much for being here this evening. I'm happy that you're committed to your growth, that you're committed to your rising, and this is only the beginning. Make plans. You can go on the website to see how you can be a part of the 6-month mentoring program, because it is important to continue on this journey that you're starting. Have a great night rest. Thank you to our speakers today, and to our convener, Coach Tewe Ajibewa, and to the team, and to everyone working tirelessly behind the scene. We say thank you. My name still is Jennifer Dafwat, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night.